right, so we are here at the US event for entrepreneurs by entrepreneurs, and we are joined here by one himself. You know, we're keeping it real, we're keeping it short around here. Got Derek from Faust Haus joining us.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you guys. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. This is like, it's an amazing event. It's an amazing group of people. Yeah, this is fantastic. This is fantastic.
So walk us through the story of Faust Haus. How was it created and inspiration behind it?
So like a lot of businesses that started kind of during the pandemic, 2021, I think part of it was a lot of people had some time on their hands, and so it was like things that were in the background that you had said that you would put off, I don't have time to do right now, or I didn't have the funds or resources to do right now. 2021 was one of those years where it was like, after sitting at home for like 12 months, it was like, you know what?
Like the commercial.
It's no time. Yeah, exactly.
Sitting around the house.
Exactly. Sitting around the house.
Nothing
Nothing to do. And it's like, what are we waiting on?
Yeah.
You know, when is there going to be a better time than this? And so actually my daughter, who was 13 at the time, said, you know, she was the one that sparked it and was like, Dad, we've been talking about this for years. There's no reason to wait. We're doing this now. So it was crazy because the way that I've done a lot of different things in my life has been to publicly commit to something. And so we started with the Instagram page and a single post. It was just a cup of coffee that I had made that morning, and we made an Instagram page and said, hey, we got something brewing.
Got something brewing, I love
So stay tuned.
Yeah.
And we went,
It's hot.
It's hot.
You know?
It's hot. We working on something.
Yeah.
And let me back up. The reason for it, when we first started this, I have been involved in, I won't say philanthropy, I'll say aid work throughout the diaspora since I was 9. Whether it be locally, whether it be down south, whether it be in Brazil, whether it be in the Caribbean, wherever we are, I've done some work in some capacity. And so when 2020 hit, there was a huge conflict, a very big problem in Ethiopia. I don't know if you're as familiar with the conflict, but it was one of those things that we would normally send resources and we would normally send people to, but again, we're on lockdown.
Right.
So my daughter's thought process, similar to my own, was, all right, if we're going to do something, we need to do something responsible, we need to do something with it. So the idea was to start this coffee company with the intention of founding a for-profit business that does good with those profits. And so we wanted to start a business that we could dedicate funds to areas that we couldn't get to. So while we couldn't send people, we can send money.
Exactly.
Because the money's still moving.
The
money didn't have COVID.
Right. That's the one thing that didn't have
It
COVID.
didn't need to wear a mask or nothing. It was wild.
Right.
So we started with that Instagram page, and due to that product, due to our differentiation in the market, due to the vision that we had, it quickly caught on. One of the things that we saw was so many people that love coffee.
Me.
It's the second most consumed drink on the planet behind water. But a lot of people don't realize where coffee originates. So we used to ask people all the time in the markets, we would say, like, do you understand your coffee? Do you know where it comes from? Do you know where it originates? And it was interesting. We kept finding people that would say someplace in Europe. Because you have words like cappuccino.
Yeah.
You know, everybody goes to Starbucks and gets a frappuccino, or they get an espresso. So they have all these Italian words, they have these Greek words, and so they associate it with Europe. But in reality, Ethiopia is the birthplace of all coffee. Coffee is an African drink. This is our product. And so it was
our culture.
This is our thing.
absolutely. So it was one of those things that was like, people need to understand, and they need to understand our connection to this commodity that the world is in love with. And the fact is that it's our thing that the world is in love with. So we brought to market a little bit of a different perspective. We brought a more traditional perspective to market. I was told when I first started this business that I needed to partner with an established roaster because there was no way I was going to have the money and the resources to roast coffee at scale and make it profitable as a business.
Look at you.
Well, you know, the thing about it is, when I was in Ethiopia and I went to so-and-so's house, I never saw a $60,000 roaster, but we was drinking coffee. So how we do this? And so we went back to those traditional methods when we first started this company. We were using cast iron skillets and wooden spoons to roast coffee.
Using the resources that you have, entrepreneurs.
And that was a foundational piece that really allowed us to save our money in a way that we could grow without needing to use so many resources and put ourselves in debt just to get started. Instead, it was we were putting ourselves in debt to our sweat. It was just a lot of sweat equity, but we got it done.
I just want to interject and just say that your daughter is amazing. You said she's 13 years old, and then you're talking.
She's 17 now.
Well, but at the time,
but yes,
you know, to be able to say we need to do this, get up and do this, the motivation.
Sophie is a beast.
I want to ask, entrepreneurship is leadership. Let's just be real, because you are leading something. You are the person in the front. What makes an effective leader to have a successful business?
So it's one of those things where I think that you can use the word leadership, or you can use another word that I think is interchangeable, which is responsibility. When you recognize your responsibility to the people on your team, when you recognize the responsibility to your own investment, when you recognize the responsibility to the brand, then you take that seriously, and that is what undergirds your leadership. Because when you're responsible with something, those decisions, those leadership decisions, you don't make them lightly.
Right.
Because you know that ultimately you are responsible for the success or failure of this whatever decision is.
And that is the type of guidance and advice that other entrepreneurs you can see and hear from, and you're doing just that right here at the US event. So we appreciate that.
Hey, no problem. I appreciate you guys. It's
Make
been a
sure
fabulous
y'all go
opportunity.
get you a cup of Joe.
Keeping it right, Joe.
We at the Easter Market every Saturday. Come down to the Easter Market to share 5. We got a lot of stuff planned. If you're looking for bags for home, go down to Rivertown Market on Jefferson and Rivard. You can find us at 3 different coffee shops across the city. I got to give a shout out to my girl Charity over at Rosa
for sure.
on the west side of the city.
That's my hood, Rosa.
Morningside on East Warren and East Outer Drive.
East Outer Love.
Over there. And then another one of my favorite spots, the Commons on Mack and Van Dyke. Like I said, we all over the city. You can get Faust Haus coffee in a variety of ways at a variety of establishments, all of black owned, and we support our community.
Love it. Derek from Faust Haus, thanks so much for joining us here.
I appreciate it.
Keeping it real, keeping it Detroit.